Good afternoon, one and all. Today we are going to discuss about the construction details of a DC machine. Okay, that means the both DC motor and the generator. Okay, DC machine consisting of both motor and the generator. Okay, we already discussing about the some constructional parts of a DC machine in the previous class, and also we discussed about the introduction about DC missions. Okay, now in the present class, we are discussing about the some more constructional parts of a DC mission. Okay, understand ma? DC mission means that it is a electrical mission. Okay, it converts energy either from mechanical to electrical or electrical to mechanical. Okay, constructionally the DC motor and the DC generator have same parts. Okay, understand ma? Constructionally the DC motor and the DC generators are same parts. Okay, this is the total overall constructional diagram for the DC mission. Okay, in the previous class we already discussed about the what is the function of the yoke and also what is the function of a field system. Okay, in that field system we are having the three parts, that is the pole core, pole shoe and field winding. Okay, in the field system we are having the three parts. Okay, that is the pole core, pole shoe and the field system. Okay, these two constructional parts will be discussed in the previous class. Okay, now in the present class we discuss about the what is the function of that field winding. Okay, first of all, what is the function of the field winding? The main function of the field winding is it produces the magnetic flux. Okay, the winding is used to produce the magnetic flux. Okay, this winding is wound on this pole. Okay, this winding is wound on this field pole. Okay, this is the overall constructional diagram for that pole. Okay, in that pole we are connecting the field winding. Okay, by using this pole we are connecting the field winding. Okay, the pole shoe is used to give the support for this pole. Okay, this is the overall field system. Okay, this is the overall field system. Okay, this field system consisting of a three parts. Okay, first one is the pole core. Okay, this is the pole core. Okay, this is pole core and this is the pole shoe and this is the pole shoe and this is the field winding. Okay, and this is the field winding. Okay, the main function of this field winding is used to produce the magnetic flux. Okay, it will be used to produce the magnetic flux. Okay, this field winding is wound on this pole core. Okay, this is the construction of a field system. Okay, this is the overall constructional diagram for this field system. Okay, basically the field system is used to produce the magnetic flux. Okay, that winding is carried by the pole core. Okay, the pole shoe gives the support for that pole core. Okay, that pole shoe gives the support for that pole core. Okay, next coming to the next part, that is the armature core. Okay, coming to the second part, that is the armature core. Okay, this is the constructional diagram for that armature core, commutator and shaft. Okay, and the shaft we are connecting the armature. Okay, after that we are connecting the commutators. After that we are connecting the commutator. Okay, this is the commutator and this is the armature. Okay, in that armature we are having the number of slots and the laminated core core, and this is the armature winding. Okay, and the shaft we are connecting the armature core and the commutator. Okay, the armature core and the commutator is mounted on the shaft. Okay, therefore the shaft is the rotating part of a DC machine. When the shaft will be rotated, automatically the armature and the commutator is also rotated. Okay, understand ma? When the shaft is rotated, automatically the armature and the commutator is also rotated. Okay, therefore the rotating parts of a DC machine is the shaft, armature and the commutator. Okay, constructionally the armature system having the two parts. Okay, that is the armature slots or the armature conductors. Okay, next one is the armature winding. Okay, this is the practical view of that armature core. Okay, this is the armature core. Okay, in that armature core we are having the number of slots. Okay, these are the number of slots and these are the holes. Okay, in that slots we are connecting the armature winding. Okay, we are connecting the armature winding. Okay, the purpose of the armature winding is used to cut the field produced by the field winding. Okay, the purpose of that armature winding is used to cut the magnetic field produced by the field winding. Okay, this is the practical view of that armature core, and this is the shaft, and this is the armature, and this is the commutator. Okay, in that armature we are having the number of slots. Okay, these are the number slots. Okay, each and every slot having the windings. Okay, each and every slots having the windings. Okay, this winding is laminated. Okay, this winding is laminated. Okay, this is the laminated core. Okay, this is the laminated core. Understand ma? Next one is the armature winding. Okay, this is the practical view of that armature winding, or this is the armature coil. Okay, this is the armature coil. Okay, in that armature core we are having the armature coil or the armature winding. Okay, the purpose of that armature winding is the flux produced by the field winding that will be cut by using this armature winding. Okay, according to the Faraday's laws, okay, understand me? According to the Faraday's laws, whenever the flux will be cut, an EMF is induced. Okay, whenever the flux will be cut, an EMF is induced. Okay, this is the purpose of the armature winding. Okay, this is the purpose of the armature winding. Okay, this armature winding consisting of a two windings. Okay, the connection of that winding is a lap winding or either wave winding, either lap winding or wave winding. Okay, the connection of this winding is the either lap winding or the wave winding. Okay, the armature is made up of core. Armature core is made up of cast iron or the cast steel. Okay, the copper wire, the winding is made up of a copper segments. Okay, this winding, armature winding, is made up of a copper segments. Okay, this winding in which the working EMF is induced. How the EMF is induced? Whenever this winding cuts the magnetic field produced by the field winding, then automatically an EMF is induced according to the Faraday's laws. Okay, understand me? According to the Faraday's laws, an EMF is induced. Okay, therefore, this EMF is flowing through that load. Next, the next part of that armature is the commutator. Okay, this is the commutator. Okay, that commutator is mounted on the shaft. Okay, the commutator is mounted on the shaft. Okay, what is the purpose of this commutator? This commutator is used to convert AC to DC. okay, is used to convert the AC to DC. That means alternating current to DC, direct current. A commutator is a mechanical rectifier. Okay, it is a mechanical rectifier which converts the alternating voltage generated in the armature winding into direct voltage. Okay, this is the alternating voltage. Okay, this waveform represents the alternating voltage, the alternating current. Okay, alternating current. Okay, this alternating current is converted into the direct current like this. Okay, this is the direct current. Okay, it is the one type of mechanical rectifier. Okay, what is the purpose of that rectifier? The rectifier is used to convert the AC to DC. Okay, similarly, the commutator is used to convert the alternating voltage to the direct voltage. Okay, the commutator is used to convert the alternating voltage to the direct voltage. Okay, this is the purpose of this commutator. Okay, the commutator is made up of copper segments. Okay, it is made up of copper segments insulated from each other, okay, by a mica sheets. Okay, it is made up of copper segments, okay, that will be insulated by the mica segments. Okay, the armature conductors are soldered. Okay, this is the one type of mechanical rectifier. Okay, the main purpose of this commutator is used to convert the AC to DC. Okay, AC to DC. Okay, it is the rotating part of this mission. Okay, the armature, commutator and shaft is the rotating part of this mission. Okay, the main purpose of this commutator is it is used to convert AC to DC. That means alternating voltage is converted to the direct voltage by using this commutator. Okay, this is the purpose of a commutator. Okay, this is the purpose of a commutator. Okay, this is the practical view of that commutator. This is the another practical view for that commutator. This is the insulated copper segments and this is the commutator legs. Okay, these are the commutator legs and these are the insulated copper segments and these are the end clamps. Okay, these are the end clamps. Okay, this is the practical view of that commutator. Okay, understand ma? It is a practical view of a commutator. Next coming to the rotor. Okay, the rotor is the rotating part of a mission. Okay, it is the rotating part of a mission. Okay, the rotor rotates because the wires and the magnetic fields of the motors are arranged so that the torque is produced. Okay, this is the shaft and this is the commutator. Sorry, this is the armature and this is the commutator. Okay, this is the commutator. Okay, sir, this is the armature conductors and armature winding and this is the commutators. Next, brushes. Okay, what is the purpose of main brushes is the function of brushes in a DC generator is used to collect the current from the commutator segments. Okay, what is the main purpose of this brush? It is used to collect the current. Okay, it is used to collect the current from the commutator segments. How the current will be produced in that commutator segments? Whenever the commutator windings, whenever the armature windings cut by the field winding, an EMF is induced. Okay, that EMF is flowing through these commutator segments, then that AC current will be converted into the DC currents. Therefore, that DC current current is flowing through these loads by using the brushes. Therefore, that DC current is flowing through these brushes to the loads. Okay, that brushes are made up of carbon and rest on the commutator. Okay, these brushes are made up of carbon. Okay, the brush pressure is adjusted by means of a adjustable springs. Okay, this is the practical view of a brush. Okay, these are the brush box and this is the tail, and these are the carbon brushes. Okay, carbon brushes, the brushes are made by the carbon materials. Okay, the main function of this brush is to collect the current from the commutator. Okay, the main function of this brush is to collect the current from the commutator segments. Okay, it is the main function of the brush. Okay, next one is the bearings. Okay, bearings, bolts and the nuts. Okay, for a small machine, ball bearings is used. For heavy duty DC generators, roller bearings is used. Okay, that bearings, bolts, nuts are used to fix the various components in the DC machine. Okay, this is the main purpose of the bearings, bolts and the nuts. Okay, the bearing must always be lubricated properly for smooth operation and long life of the generators. Okay, these are the various constructional parts of a DC machine. Okay, mainly constructionally the DC machine having the following parts. Okay, that is yoke. First one is the yoke. Next one is the field system. Next one is the armature system. Next commutators. Next shaft. Next bearings, bolts and the nuts and brushes. Okay, these are the various parts in the DC machine. First of all, yoke. Yoke is the outermost cover of a DC machine. Okay, next. Yoke is made up of a cast iron or the cast steel. Okay, the purpose of the yoke is used to protect all the inner parts. Okay, next one is the field system. That field system consisting of a three parts. Okay, pole core, pole shoe, field winding. Okay, what is the purpose of that pole core? Pole core is used to connect wound the field windings. Okay, what is the purpose of that field winding? Field winding is used to produce the magnetic flux. Okay, that will be made up of carbon. Okay, that will be made up of copper. Okay, next the pole core is made up of cast iron or the cast steel. Okay, next one is the pole shoe. The pole shoe is like this. Okay, this will be used to give the support for this pole core. Next one is the armature. Okay, what is the purpose of that armature? The armature is used consisting of a two parts, armature core and the armature winding. Okay, in that armature core, we are having the number of slots. Okay, each slots having the windings. Okay, what is the purpose of that armature winding? The armature winding is used to cut the magnetic flux that will be produced by the field winding. Okay, that is the main purpose of that armature. Okay, it is the rotating part of a machine. Okay, it is made up of cast iron or the cast steel. The winding is made up of a copper material. Okay, next one is the commutator. It is a mechanical rectifier. Okay, it is used to convert AC to DC. Okay, it is used to convert AC to DC. Okay, next one is the shaft. The shaft is used to rotate the armature and the commutator. Okay, it is also made up of cast iron or the cast steel. Okay, next one is the brushes. The purpose of the brushes is used to collect the DC current produced by the commutator segments. Okay, the brushes is made up of carbon material. The brushes is made up of carbon materials. Okay, next one is the bearings. In small mission, for small missions we are using the ball bearings, and for large missions we are using the roller bearings. Okay, these are the various constructional parts of a DC machine. Okay, that means both for motor and the generator. Okay, understand ma? Next, working of a DC generator. Next, what is the working principle of a DC generator? First of all, the main working principle of DC generator is the main working principle of DC generator is the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. Okay, we already studied about the Faraday's laws. Okay, in the previous classes we are studied about the Faraday's laws. Okay, basically this law consisting of two parts are the two laws. Okay, first law, whenever the conductor cuts the magnetic flux, okay, whenever the conductor cuts the magnetic flux, an EMF is induced. Dynamically EMF is induced in the conductor. Okay, that is the Faraday's first law. Okay, whenever the conductor cuts the flux lines, an EMF is induced. Okay, next, coming to the second law, the magnitude of EMF induced is directly proportional to the rate of change of flux linkages. Okay, that means E is directly proportional to the minus N d phi by dt. Okay, that is the rate of change of flux linkages. Okay, this is the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, second law. Okay, what is the first law? Whenever the conductor cuts the flux lines, an EMF is induced. Okay, second law is the EMF is directly proportional to the rate of change of flux linkages, or is equal to minus N d phi by dt. Okay, this is the proportionality constant. When we are removing this proportionality constant, we are multiplying with minus N. Okay, otherwise we are taking as E is directly proportional to the d phi by dt. Okay, E is directly proportional to the d phi by dt. Okay, therefore the induced EMF is directly proportional to the rate of change of flux linkages. Okay, therefore the induced EMF is directly proportional to the rate of change of flux linkages. Okay, this is the Faraday's second law. Okay, totally the Faraday's laws consisting of two parts. Okay, that is the first law and the second law. Okay, what is the first law? Whenever the conductor cuts the flux lines, okay, whenever the conductor cuts the flux lines, an EMF is induced. Okay, what is the second law? The magnitude of induced EMF is directly proportional to the rate of change of flux linkages. That is, E is directly proportional to the d phi by dt. When we are removing this proportionality constant, then it will be considered as E is equal to minus N d phi by dt. Okay, E is equal to minus N d phi by dt. Okay, what is the working principle of DC generator? Means the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. Okay, first, what is the first point? The working principle of DC generator is the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. Okay, what is that law? Whenever, that is the Faraday's first law. Whenever a conductor cuts the flux lines, an EMF is induced in the conductor. On the basis of this law, the DC generator is operated. Okay, the DC generator is an electromechanical energy conversion device. Okay, it is used to convert mechanical energy to electrical energy. Okay, the DC generator is used to convert the mechanical energy to electrical energy. Okay, DC generator means that it is a electromechanical energy conversion device. Okay, it is used to convert mechanical energy to the electrical energy. Okay, we already see the various generators in the household purpose or in the daily life. We are using the generators. Okay, what is that generator? What is the main function of that generator in the household purpose? When we are giving the any mechanical energy, that is like petrol or diesel, then it will be converted into the electrical energy. Okay, that electrical supply we will be used for the applications of household purpose. Okay, that is the main function of a DC generator. Okay, that means it is a electromechanical energy conversion device. It is used to convert mechanical energy to the electrical energy. Okay, this DC generator is used to convert mechanical energy to the electrical energy. Okay, that is the second point. Okay, working principle is the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. That is, whenever the conductor cuts the magnetic flux, an EMF is induced, and it is a device, electromechanical device. It will be used to convert mechanical energy to the electrical energy. Okay, that the EMF direction will be defined by the Fleming's right hand rule. Okay, the direction of the induced EMF is given by the Fleming's right hand rule. Okay, in that the type of induced EMF is the dynamically induced EMF. Okay, basically the induced EMFs are classified into two types. Okay, the EMFs are classified into two types. That is, the first one is the statically induced EMF. Okay, statically induced EMF. Second one is the dynamically induced EMF. Dynamically induced EMF. Okay, these are the two types of induced EMFs. Okay, in the case of a DC generator, the type of induced EMF is the dynamically induced EMF. Okay, in the case of DC generator, the type of induced EMF is the dynamically induced EMF. Okay, what is meant by the dynamically induced EMF means that in this case the conductor is stationary and the flux lines will be stationary and the conductor is rotated. Okay, we are considering the two cases. First case is the when the flux lines are constant, the conductor will be rotated. Okay, that type of induced EMF is called as the dynamically induced EMF. Okay, that as statically induced EMF means that the conductor is stationary and the flux lines will be rotated. Okay, in the case of DC generator, the type of induced EMF is the dynamically induced EMF. Okay, that induced EMF direction will be find out by using the Fleming's right hand rule. Okay, that type of induced EMF will be determined by using the Fleming's right hand rule. Okay, first, what is meant by the Fleming's right hand rule? Okay, before going to define the Fleming's right hand rule, The Fleming's right hand rule is used to determine the direction of induced EMF that will be obtained by the DC generator. That will be obtained by the DC generator. Okay, this is the Fleming's right hand rule. Okay, hold the right hand. Okay, this is the right hand. Hold the right hand, the thumb, forefinger and middle finger. Okay, this is the thumb, forefinger and middle finger are mutually perpendicular to each other. Okay, the thumb, forefinger and middle finger are mutually perpendicular to each other. Okay, in that case, the thumb represents the direction of motion. Okay, the thumb represents the direction of motion and the forefinger represents the direction of magnetic field. Okay, the forefinger represents the direction of magnetic field. Okay, the middle finger represents the direction of current. Okay, the direction of current. Okay, by using this Fleming's right hand rule, we can determine the direction of induced EMF. Okay, that direction of induced EMF will be obtained by using this right hand rule. Okay, what is that right hand rule? Hold the right hand like this and then the thumb, forefinger and middle finger are perpendicular to each other. Okay, like this. Okay, like this we will place the fingers. Okay, therefore the three fingers are mutually perpendicular to each other. Therefore the three fingers are mutually perpendicular to each other, that is thumb, forefinger and the middle finger. In that, the thumb represents the direction of a motion. Okay, the thumb represents the direction of a motion and the middle finger represents the direction of a magnetic field and forefinger represents the direction of a current. Okay, by using this Fleming's right hand rule, we can determining the direction of a induced EMF. Okay, we can determining the direction of the induced EMF. First of all, we are revising that 3 points. That is, what is the first point? It is a mission. It converts energy from mechanical to electrical energy. Okay, the DC generator is the mission. It is used to convert mechanical energy to the electrical energy. Okay, what is the second point? The working principle of DC generator is the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. Okay, how many types of laws are there? We are having the two laws, that is first law and the second law. Okay, what is the first law? Whenever a conductor cuts the flux lines, an EMF is induced. Okay, that is the Faraday's first law. Next, what is the second law? The magnitude of induced EMF is directly proportional to the rate of change of flux linkages. Okay, this is the second law. Okay, on the basis of the first law, the DC generator is operated and then the EMF is induced. Okay, which type of induced EMF is produced? That is dynamically induced EMF. Okay, what is meant by the dynamically induced EMF? Okay, we are considering the two criteria, that is the one is the flux lines and other is the conductor. Okay, in the dynamically induced EMF, the conductor is the rotating and the flux lines is stationary. Okay, that type of induced EMF is called as the dynamically induced EMF. Okay, the direction of that induced EMF will be find out by using the Fleming's right hand rule. Okay, the direction of that induced EMF will be defined by using the Fleming's right hand rule. Okay, understand ma? What is the Fleming's right hand rule? The thumb, forefinger and middle finger are perpendicular to each other. Okay, and then the thumb represents the direction of a motion and middle finger represents the direction of a magnetic field and forefinger represents the direction of a current or the induced EMF. Okay, current or the induced EMF. Okay, by using this Fleming's right hand rule, we can determining the direction of this induced EMF. Okay, this is the basic points for the working principle of a DC generator. Okay, for the working principle of a DC generator. Okay, this is the simple loop constructional diagram for the DC generator. Okay, this is the simple loop constructional diagram for the DC generator. Okay, we are considering the two pole mission, that is first one is the north pole and the south pole. Okay, this is the north pole and this is the south pole. Okay, this is the south pole. In between the north and the south pole, we are taking the one rectangular conductor. Okay, this is the rectangular conductor. Okay, named that rectangular conductor is named as the A, B, C and D. Okay, this is the rectangular conductor that is named as the A, B, C, D. Okay, understand, ma? Next, at the end of this rectangular conductor, we are connecting the two slip rings. Okay, we are connecting the two slip rings. Okay, these are the slip rings. Okay, by using these slip rings, the conductor will be rotated. Okay, by using these slip rings, the conductor will be rotated. Okay, taking one rectangular conductor A, B, C, D in between the north and the south pole. Okay, normally in between north and the south pole, we are developing the flux lines. Okay, always the direction of that flux lines is north to south. Okay, always the direction of these flux lines are north to south. Okay, the construction of this diagram is that taking one rectangular conductor A, B, C, D. Okay, that will be placed in between these two poles. That is the north pole and the south pole. Okay, already we are developing the some flux lines that will be in between north to south poles. In between north to south poles. Okay, at the end of this rectangular conductor, we are connecting the two slip rings. Okay, the purpose of these slip rings is used to rotate this conductor. Okay, the purpose of these slip rings are the is used to rotate these conductors. Okay, at these slip rings, each and every slip ring are connected by the brushes. Okay, the purpose of these brushes are used to collect the current and it will be transferred to the load. Okay, this is the load. Okay, by using these brushes, that current will be flowing through this load. Okay, this is the constructional diagram for that DC working principle. Okay, we are taking the one rectangular conductor that will be placed in between the north and the south pole. Okay, some flux lines are produced in between the north and the south pole. Always the direction will be north to the south. Okay, that rectangular conductor is named as the A, B, C, D. Okay, at the end of this rectangular conductor, we are connecting the slip rings, and at that slip rings, we are connecting the carbon brushes. Okay, the purpose of these slip rings is used to rotate the conductor, and also the purpose of this carbon brush is used to collect the current. Okay, is used to collect the current. Okay, this is the basic construction of a DC generator working principle diagram. Okay, and next class we are discussing about the how the generator will producing the induced EMF. Okay, that will be discussed in the various cases. Okay, that will be discussed in the various cases.